Welcome to winter. It has been a few years since we had a harsh cold winter. Let's just say, in the past few years, we have become accustomed to mild winters. The purpose of this video is to get you reacquainted with winter weather. Every year, whenever we get the first snowfall, it seems like people forget how to drive. Let's face it, there are some people that lack the driving skills when it's 75 degrees and sunny. So first off, we are going to brush up on those winter driving tips. And speaking of brush, make sure you brush the snow off your vehicle. Having a lot of snow and ice on your vehicle can be hazardous. Having snow and ice on your vehicle can limit your visibility. And plus, you don't want chunks of snow and ice flying off your vehicle and hitting the cars around you. So, do everyone a favor and clean the snow off your car. My second tip is to check the weather before embarking to your destination. Let's say you are planning on driving from Pittsburgh to Erie. The sun may be shining in Pittsburgh, but Erie may be a totally different story. Erie sits comfortably in the snow belt. Warm water from Lake Erie and cold Arctic air creates lake effect snow. And you don't want to be driving up Interstate 79 and all of a sudden you hit a whiteout. Don't be caught off guard. Check the weather before you depart. Number 3, invest in good snow tires. If you do a lot of driving in winter weather, make sure you have decent tires on your car. The last thing you want is to be at an annual meeting of the Summer Tires Club. There's a meme that's going around the internet that has cars slid off on the side of the road. And the picture says, Annual Meeting of the Summer Tires Club. Invest in good tires so you don't have to be an attendee at that meeting. Tip number 4, use your headlights. You may be able to see just fine without your headlights, but other vehicles cannot see you. And every so often, wipe off your headlights with Windex. So brighten someone's day and use your headlights. Tip number 5, make sure your windshield wipers are in good working order. And make sure you check your vehicle's reservoir to make sure there's enough washing fluid. Working wipers will wipe those winter blues away. Number 6, make sure you have an emergency kit in your vehicle. A well-stocked emergency kit has a change of clothes, jumper cables, kitty litter, a shovel, flares, whistle, bottled water, non-perishable snacks, a blanket, a flashlight, and a candle to keep warm. I mentioned kitty litter because you might need to throw some down for traction. And one more thing, a tow rope, in case you get stuck and need pulled out. Number 7, know your route. Make sure you tell somebody the route you will be taking to your destination. In case you become stranded, that way first responders will know where to look. If possible, postpone travel until the weather has passed. And be cautious when using GPS. Every year, motorists get stranded on unplowed forest roads. And what do the stranded motorists say? GPS took me this way. While GPS can be a fantastic tool, however, there are several drawbacks to it. You may not be able to access the map if you're in an area with no cell signal. So make sure you have some paper maps in your glove compartment. I'm not saying this about everybody, but some people are becoming too dependent on GPS. If you use GPS, please exercise common sense. If a road looks like it was untouched, do not attempt to go down it. Personally, I never once used GPS. I just don't have any need to, and thankfully I'm blessed with a good sense of direction. Now that we covered the basic preparations, I am now going to move on to driving skills. A toddler could tell you that snow and ice makes things slick. When you are driving on snow-covered roads, you want to adjust your speed. It's time to slow down. The faster you go, the less control you have. Some may argue and say, well, I'm an experienced driver. If a car pulls out in front of you, you're going to have the same amount of stopping time whether you're experienced or not. The laws of physics do not care how much driving experience you have. Law vehicles are equipped with four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Remember, four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive are tools. They are meant to assist you. And just because your vehicle has them doesn't mean you can drive as fast as you like. Whatever you do not tailgate. Please don't do it, because if the person in front of you has to stop real quick or slides, you're going to rear end them. Whatever you do, don't tailgate. Now, since we're on the topic of stopping, if your car is equipped with anti-lock brakes, you want to press firmly on the brake pedal. Do not pump. When pulling away from a stop, accelerate slowly to prevent tire spin. Pennsylvania has a lot of hills, and chances are you're going to have to drive up those hills. So when driving up those snow-covered hills, try not to power up. Powering up will just make your wheels spin. You want to try to get a little inertia before you go up the hill. And when you drive downhill, you want to definitely reduce your speed and put your vehicle in the lower gear. And whatever you do, don't stop on an icy hill. There's nothing worse than a car stopped on a snow-covered hill, especially if there are other vehicles behind you. If you do become stuck, you can try to rock your vehicle out. However, I do caution against that if you don't know what you're doing. You can do serious damage to your engines and tires, so the best thing to do is to call a tow truck to get you out. If you do become stuck, make sure your exhaust pipe is clear of snow, because you do not want carbon monoxide to build up inside your vehicle. Carbon monoxide is deadly. If you do run your vehicle, make sure you leave the window cracked. I forgot to mention this earlier, but make sure your gas tank is full. Stay with your vehicle. Don't go walking down the road for help. I caution against that because you can slip and fall and freeze to death, or you can get hit by an oncoming vehicle. And of course, make sure your phone is fully charged. I see a lot of people wearing shorts and socks and sandals in this weather. I will tell you why you need to dress appropriately. Let's say you do break down or get stuck, or you're outside and you slip and fall. It might be a while before someone comes to get you, and in that time you can either develop frostbite or hypothermia. So you want to make sure you are dressed for the weather. If you happen to encounter a plow truck, make sure you give them room and let them do their job. So to review, know the weather conditions before you go. Make sure your vehicle is in good working order. Have a fully stocked emergency kit. Make sure your gas tank is full. Make sure that needle is pointing to F. You're not at the Indy 500. You're driving on a snow-covered road, so adjust your speed. If a road is snow-covered, don't attempt it. And if you can do so, avoid travel during the worst of conditions. Postpone travel until the snow has passed. And that way, plow trucks can do their job. There is still a lot of winter left. As of now, February looks to be a lot warmer than January. I don't mean 70s and 80s, but temperatures should be above average. And here's something to cheer you up. In the month of February, we gain the most daylight. The days get longer. And before you know it, it'll be March 9th, the day we turn the clocks ahead. Spring will be here before we know it. Then once again, we will be complaining about the heat and humidity. So take one day at a time and avoid travel if you aren't comfortable driving in the snow. I hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully learned something. Stay safe this winter.